Hey guys, it's Gwen, and in today's video, I'm going to be talking about Sex and the City. So, Sex and the City is a television show that aired from 1998 to 2004 and follows Carrie Bradshaw, a sex columnist, and her three friends, Samantha Jones, a public relations executive, Charlotte York, an art dealer, and Miranda Hobbs, a lawyer. It takes place in New York City in Manhattan, which is often considered the fifth character of the show based on the setting's importance to the show. It is based on writer Candace Bushnell's column Sex and the City, published in the New York Observer, which was later compiled into a book of the same name, which was published in 1996. It was created by Darren Star for HBO and later run by Michael Patrick King after season 3. The intro. In the opening credits, Carrie Bradshaw, played by Sarah Jessica Parker, is seen wearing a pink tank top and a white tulle skirt, and smiles and poses for the camera before being splashed by water from a taxi. It also features her wearing a nude dress on a bus that says, "Carrie Bradshaw knows good sex and isn't afraid to ask." The characters. Caroline Marie Carrie Bradshaw is a New York City-based newspaper columnist and fashion enthusiast, particularly shoes. She loves Manolo Blahnik shoes and has at least 100 pairs, which is around $40,000 worth. Her weekly column, titled Sex and the City, serves as the narrative framework for each episode, offering commentary on modern relationships, dating, and friendships. It also includes her reflections on gender dynamics in New York City. The column gains her a degree of recognition, and some readers view her as a public figure, and she is seen as a local celebrity in the city of New York. Samantha Jones. Played by Kim Cattrall, Samantha Jones is one of four central characters in Sex and the City, depicted as a confident, outspoken, and sexually liberated public relations professional. Her storylines frequently center on her casual sexual encounters and short-term relationships. A self-described trisexual, she is portrayed as brash, direct, and highly protective of her friends. Samantha maintains a detached attitude toward dating and monogamy and often becomes uncomfortable when her relationships take an emotional turn. She has two main relationships throughout the show, however. Charlotte York. Played by Kristen Davis, Charlotte York is depicted as the most conservative and traditionally minded member of the core friend group. She prioritizes emotional connection over physical intimacy, although her romantic and sexual relationships, including her first marriage, indicate that physical desire remains important to her. Idealistic and goal-oriented, Charlotte is portrayed as being in search of her knight in shining armor, and often references conventional dating philosophies, such as those found in The Rules. She frequently expresses disapproval of the more sexually liberated behaviors of her friends, particularly those of Samantha Jones. She comes from a wealthy, upper-class background in Connecticut and works as an art dealer at a Manhattan gallery. A self-described WASP, Charlotte is a graduate of Smith College, where she earned a Bachelor of Arts degree in art history with a minor in finance. During her time at Smith, she lived in Haven Wesley House and was active in the college Republicans and a sorority, the Kappa Kappa Gamma sorority, which is fictional since in real life Smith does not have sororities. Miranda Hobbs. Played by Cynthia Nixon, Miranda Hobbs is portrayed as a career-focused, Harvard-educated lawyer with a pragmatic and often cynical view of relationships and men. Over the course of the series, her outlook evolves, particularly after an unplanned pregnancy with her on-again, off-again partner Steve Brady, a bartender who she later marries. Their son Brady Hobbs introduces challenges to her typical work-centric lifestyle as she navigates the demands of motherhood. Hobbs is the first of the four main characters to purchase her own Manhattan apartment, living on the Upper West Side until she moves to Brooklyn in the final season of Sex and the City. The seasons. Season 1. Episode 1. Sex and the City. An anecdote about Elizabeth, played by Sarah Winter, typifies how problematic it is for successful New York women to find a good man. Next, at a birthday party for 30-something Miranda, Carrie and her friends vow to stop worrying about finding the perfect male and start having sex like men. Carrie has several encounters with tycoon heartthrob Mr. Big. Miranda starts dating nice guy Skipper Johnson. Charlotte goes on a date with Capote Duncan, played by Jeffrey Nordling, but when she tells him she won't have sex with him, he goes to a club and winds up going home with Samantha. Episode 2, Models and Mortals. After Miranda and Skipper bump into each other at the convenience store, they sleep together for the first time. Carrie interviews Barkley, a modelizer who videotapes his conquests. Derek, a male model and client of Stanford Blatch, spends the night with Carrie after a fashion show, although they don't sleep together. Samantha chases Barkley while at a fashion show in order to be taped. Episode 3, Bay of Married Pigs. Carrie is invited to go up to their Hamptons beach house by Patience and Peter, but in the morning she bumps into Peter in the hall without his underwear on. Some friends introduce her to Sean, the marrying guy. When she can't keep up on his quick march to commitment, she recommends commitment via Charlotte. Miranda's colleague from work, Jeff, introduces her to a lesbian, Sid, at a baseball game, and they are invited to her senior partner's dinner party as a couple. Episode 4, Folly of the 20-something Guys. Mr. Big and Carrie continue to bump into each other during social events, which leads to them to try to organize their first drink thing. On a night out, Carrie meets 20-something Sam, Timothy Oliphant, for a fling, which turns out to be not so glamorous in the light of day. Charlotte despairs over the possibility of having anal sex. Samantha dates a younger chef, but finds the appeal wearing off. Episode 5, The Power of Female Sex. Carrie bumps into international party girl Amelita and her latest man Carlo in a shoe store, who in turn introduces her to French architect Giles. He leaves Carrie $1,000 on the nightstand after a one-night stand. Charlotte meets Neville Morgan, a renowned artist who paints pictures of her vulva for his latest exhibition. Samantha tries to get a reservation at a hot new restaurant. Episode 6, Secret Sex. Carrie and Mr. Big have their official date, but Carrie suggests Mr. Big is keeping her secret from his social circle. Miranda dates a man from her gym class named Ted, but she discovers a spanking video in his apartment. Episode 7, The Monogamists. Carrie and Mr. Big begin dating on a regular basis, but she learns after bumping into him that he is dating other women. Samantha begins to look for an apartment to purchase. Charlotte dates a man who prefers oral sex, while Miranda becomes jealous after seeing Skipper with another woman. Episode 8, Three's a Crowd. Carrie finds out that Big was married once and that he had a threesome. Charlotte's boyfriend wants to have a threesome. Miranda feels left out because she's never been threesome material, so she responds to a classified ad to validate her sexual appeal. Samantha becomes involved with the married man, and his wife offers to have a threesome to keep the marriage together, which Samantha declines. Episode 9, The Turtle and the Hare. Carrie is unhappy when Mr. Big tells her that he never wants to get married again. Stanford Blatch proposes to her in order to please his grandmother and inherit his part of the family fortune. Samantha's latest pet project is the Turtle, one of New York's most successful yet style-impaired bachelors. Charlotte becomes addicted to a rabbit vibrator called the Rabbit. Episode 10, The Baby Shower. The four women attend a baby shower for their one-time wild child friend Lainey in her new button-down Connecticut suburb environment. Carrie is forced to think about motherhood by her late period. Miranda regards other guests as part of the cult of the motherhood. Still single, Charlotte fears her dreams of becoming a wife and mother are slipping away. Samantha holds a no baby shower in response to the one the four women attended. Episode 11, The Drought. Carrie's relationship with Mr. Big has been going on for long enough that it is becoming less physical, especially after she farts in bed. Charlotte is dating a man who isn't interested in sex anymore thanks to the side effects of Prozac. Samantha discovers that not having sex can be erotic. Miranda realizes that she hasn't had sex for months. Episode 12, Oh Come All Ye Faithful. After being introduced as a friend to his mother, Carrie realizes her relationship with Mr. Big is one-sided and breaks up with him. Miranda dates an up-and-coming playwright who is also an uptight Catholic. Samantha falls in love with a perfect man, but he doesn't measure up to her requirements. Charlotte gets psychic readings to see if she'll ever marry. Season 2. Episode 1, Take Me Out to the Ball Game. Carrie meets the new Yankee, Joe, at a baseball game, all the while preparing for her post-breakup encounter with Big. Miranda gets fed up with the girls always talking about men. Charlotte dates a guy named Paul Erickson who has a tendency to adjust his package a lot. Samantha gets frustrated with James's deficiencies. Episode 2, The Awful Truth. Carrie accidentally suggests that her friend Susan Sharon leave her domineering, violent husband. Miranda builds up the courage to talk dirty in bed. Charlotte tries to replace the perfect man with the perfect dog. Samantha gets dragged to couples therapy with James and tries to avoid talking about her real problem with their sex life. Episode 3, The Freak Show. Carrie turns freakish herself after dating a string of freaky guys and freaks out the very normal Ben when trying to discover his secret freakishness. Miranda dates Manhattan Guy, a guy who hasn't left Manhattan in 10 years. Charlotte dates the renowned Mr. Pussy and tries to make a real relationship out of it. Samantha decides to get plastic surgery and freaks out during the consult. Episode 4. Single and Fabulous. Carrie gets a horrible photo taken for the cover story of New York Magazine. Single and Fabulous? Miranda fakes orgasms with her current boyfriend. Charlotte starts dating her handyman. Samantha dates a club owner who calls them a we right away. Episode 5. Carrie starts seeing Mr. Big again. Miranda buys her own apartment on the Upper West Side. Charlotte meets a recent widower at a cemetery. Samantha's actions with the married man gets her in trouble with the New York high society, ladies who lunch, and only a Titanic star can help her out. Episode 6, The Cheating Curve. Carrie starts to officially date Mr. Big again. Miranda dates a guy who insists on watching porn while they have sex. Fed up with cheating men, Charlotte spends time with her new friends, the Power Lesbians. Samantha starts dating her gym instructor who brands her with a lightning bolt. Episode 7, The Chicken Dance. Carrie gets fed up with Big's inability to pay attention to her. Miranda inadvertently sets her interior designer up with a long-distance would-be boyfriend, and they marry after only 4 weeks. Charlotte has a warp-speed relationship with the guy she meets at the wedding. Samantha is upset when she experiences deja vu, sleeping with the guy she previously did 15 years ago. Episode 8, The Man, the Myth, the Viagra. A frustrated Carrie tries to get Big to make time to meet the girls. Miranda meets Steve Brady, a cute bartender who wants to be more than a one-night stand. Samantha dates an incredibly wealthy man in his 70s with a sumptuous lifestyle and a pocket full of Viagra. Episode 9, Old Dogs, New Dicks, also known as Old Dogs, New Tricks. Carrie tries to get Big to stop checking out other women when they're together. Miranda and Steve's opposite schedules become a problem. Charlotte is turned off when she dates a man who has not been circumcised, and Samantha runs into an old hockey player boyfriend who is now a blonde drag queen named Samantha. Episode 10, The Caste System. Carrie gets fed up with high society while at an Upper East Side party with Big. Miranda and Steve have an argument over money and social status. Charlotte meets Wiley Ford, the movie star, and joins his entourage. Samantha dates a wealthy real estate developer with a Southeast Asian live-in servant who has her master wrapped around her little finger. Episode 11, Evolution. Carrie tries to leave her mark at Big's place by leaving some personal items behind. Miranda finds out that one of her ovaries has stopped producing eggs. Charlotte dates Stefan, a pastry chef who she mistakenly thought was gay but is, in his own words, a gay straight man. Samantha tries to get revenge on Dominic, her ex who broke her heart. Episode 12, La Douleur Exquisite. Carrie is horrified when Big casually tells her he's moving to Paris for 7 months. Miranda dates a man who only wants to have sex in places where they might get caught. Charlotte meets Buster, a high-end shoe salesman with a serious foot fetish. Samantha introduces the girls to a hot new S&M restaurant. Episode 13, Games People Play. Carrie starts going to therapy after obsessing about Big for too long. Offended by the diagnosis of dating men who are wrong for her, she dates cute fellow patient Seth, played by John Bon Jovi, a guy who loses interest in women after sleeping with them. Miranda plays peekaboo with her cute across-the-aircraft neighbor. Samantha dates a sports fanatic whose mood depends on who won the game that night. Episode 14, The Fuck Buddy, also known as the Sex Buddy. Carrie tries to make a relationship with her fuck buddy. Miranda dates a condescending lawyer. Charlotte becomes a freewheeling dater and double books dates with two guys on the same night. Samantha overhears a couple moaning next door and decides to outdo them. Episode 15, Shortcomings. Carrie dates an author who has a premature ejaculation problem and finds that she regrets having to break up with his perfect family. Miranda dates a divorced father who has a young son. Charlotte's brother Wesley stays with her after his wife leaves him. Samantha gives Wesley what he really needs, sex. Episode 16, Was It Good For You? Carrie dates a recovering alcoholic who becomes obsessed with her. Charlotte is determined to learn how to have sex after her latest partner falls asleep on her and drags the girls to a tantric sex class. Samantha gets an offer to have a threesome with two curious gay friends. Episode 17, 20-something girls versus 30-something women. Carrie unexpectedly runs into Mr. Big and his new 20-something girlfriend, Natasha, at a Hamptons party. Miranda tries in vain to have some mature fun in the Hamptons. Charlotte pretends to be 27 so she can date a cute 26-year-old named Greg. Samantha's 25-year-old former assistant is hired to throw a big Hamptons party using her Rolodex for the guest list. Episode 18, X in the City. After learning of Big's engagement, a freaked-out Carrie tries to cope with the ramifications. Miranda sleeps with Steve for the first time after their breakup. Charlotte tries to overcome her fear of horseback riding. Samantha dates a guy who is Mr. Too Big, determined to overcome his overendowment. Thank you so much for watching.